Like many of you civilized gym goers out there, when you see someone like really obese looking to lose weight and get in shape, you tend to do nothing but commend them, right? Which is a good thing. However, in today's video, we're going to be teaching on the edge simply because I came across this video about this overweight dude called Ethan. For those of you that remember, I made a video on him maybe about 8, 9, maybe 10 months ago about his weight loss journey starting from 660 pounds. However, I decided to click on this Greg video simply because when I saw the thing that said lazy, I was like, damn, Greg's a bit harsh. So I started watching the video, and I will have to say that some of his criticisms sound very valid. So in today's video, I don't want to rehash what Greg did. I wanted to take a step back, formulate my own thoughts. But from the clips I did see, I personally do think there's a good few things that Ethan's doing that I don't think anybody that's obese watching should probably follow or try and emulate that truly wants to actually lose weight.
All right, it's finally time to tell you guys about the next chapter of my journey. If you've been watching my page this year, pretty easy to tell that I haven't been doing great. And I tried getting back on track several times, wasn't successful, and that's why I moved out here, over 2,000 miles away from where I lived, just to work with this guy. This is Jacob.
I have some thoughts on that bit alone, but we're gonna let the video push on.
Yeah. For the next 365 days, man, we're gonna be together. And of course, I'm gonna be helping you through it. You're gonna be helping yourself. And that means hard conversations. And just know, man, this is going to be a very, very tough journey. So I'm asking you again, are you ready?
Oh yeah. Dude, I wouldn't have moved out here if I wasn't.
All right. Can we get the scale? Whatever this number says. It's okay? I'm not gonna scream at you?
Yeah.
Starts now.
Let's see where we're at.
Before the number is revealed, because this is just the intro, remember, his starting point was 660 pounds.
455.6 pounds.
All right, dude.
So from the last weigh-in, that's up 16.
Okay, how do you feel?
I kind of, even though you don't check, like I've been avoiding the scale like it was the plague this past few weeks.
FYI, when it comes to the scale, the worst thing you can do is run from it, especially on a long journey like Ethan is. The best thing you can actually do is weigh yourself as much as possible. Weekly weigh-ins are terrible for someone like Ethan because you can have huge swings when it comes to your weight. Whereas if you weighed yourself daily, imagine if every single day that week he weighed 6 pounds lower or even 10 pounds lower, and then this one day spiked up, you would automatically in your brain go, oh, that was just a random spike. You'll feel a lot better. But because you do these one-off weigh-ins, it really can mess with your head. So personally, if you're someone overweight, never do this weekly thing. I know it's hard to get your head around, but once you start getting comfortable with weighing yourself more and detaching from it to the point where it doesn't make or break your day, you'll be on to a better circumstance and journey to lose weight.
Like I've been avoiding the scale like it was the plague this past few weeks.
Just think about where you're gonna be a year from now. You're gonna be a completely different person. You're not gonna be who you are today. Okay?
So, well, I obviously wasn't doing great on my own, so I think that this is gonna help a lot.
So he will be doing a full year with this coach to try and help him rein things in. But the biggest drawback I'll probably say is the problem with doing that sort of big shift is that you start having to rely on the other person. It'll be too heavy. Like there's a reason why online coaching exists. You could have still had this guy as a coach, but not be physically present with him. So it gives some of the ownership back on yourself. So you learn how to rein things in yourself. If you now move all the way out there and he's got more oversight over you, yes, it's maybe good in the fact that he can probably make sure you stick to things more. But what happens when you move back home? I get what you're saying, like he feels like he was having a sticking point. Chances are, like, we don't know what happens when the camera's off, but he was probably binging even there. Like jumping up 16 pounds, even at his weight, isn't like no easy feat. The bigger you are, the bigger the fluctuations, that is true. But normally they may fluctuate like maybe like 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8, 9 pounds. To jump up 16, you either haven't gone to the bathroom, you retained a hell of a lot more water from eating some sort of food maybe the day before, or you actually have just been binging on the slide, and that's just food and calories and fat that you have actually gained in the last week. We don't know. Now, the video that actually got me to kind of sway my perspective was actually this one here, simply because, bearing in mind, Ethan has been trying to lose weight now for I think over a year. And if you watch this video, you would think that he only started last week.
Pedal harder, pedal faster. Okay, you see, your heart rate's gonna start going up.
So at my size, being on my feet and walking and stuff still hurts a lot. Is there any cardio replacements for walking that would work to do alongside the gym?
Yeah, yeah, genuine. I don't think you should be running, walking. Yeah, there's.
I know it's like good, and you like burn a lot of calories and stuff at this size.
But your joints,
my feet are messed up, dude.
Jump roping is another one that I would like stray away from for a while. Like for example, let's go right here. Get on something like this. Let's see if you fit. Pull that back.
Okay.
Let me see.
Oh yeah, that works a lot better.
How's that feel?
Dude, I'm not even kidding. I don't think I've been on a bike since I was like 10.
But you can really push yourself on this.
Does it resist?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so like right now there's nothing. Think about a bike, how you could like put a little bit of a resistance on that bike.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'm gonna let it continue, but you've been in a gym for over a year trying to lose weight, specifically as an obese, overweight man. Like if you're someone overweight, you already know straight away there's limited cardio functions realistically due to the fact that your joints are gonna hurt. So for example, he said about the walking. Obviously, walk on a treadmill on an incline is better for your knees than walking on a flat. But in general, there's other pieces of equipment. Some of the best ones out there probably is going to be a bike. You got swimming. You've got the cross trainers which keep your feet somewhat in place so you're not actually impacting the ground as you walk. For example, a stepper is a great exercise, but the constant like stepping on the steps sometimes can hurt people's knees even though they are going upwards. But like an exercise bike, and specifically this one, the what's it called, recumbent bike, where you're kind of partially sitting down, I feel like this is one of the first things on Google probably. If you search exercises to do for an overweight man, I feel like this will be in the top 3. You know what? Just out of curiosity, we're actually going to do the search. All right, so what I've put in here is a simple request. What are the best cardio exercises for an overweight man to lose weight? And there you go. It gives you the top ones right there and then. So you can see the best ones. It says swimming number 1, incline walking number 2, and number 3 is the stationary cycling bike or the recumbent bike. Easily, and also the 4th one is the elliptical.
And now, so when you're doing this, are you supposed to be like casual?
No.
Or are you supposed to be like
you get what you put into it? You get what you put into it.
So if we are taking him at his word and this is like 100% legit, it makes you wonder, well, if you have never done that, like how much are you really like pushing yourself? Because he often does show the more interesting exercises. For example, he'll be on the battle ropes, he'll be on all the more high intensive exercises. But the problem is those do burn a lot of energy during the moment, but they do increase your appetite quite a lot simply because you're doing a more high intensity exercise which requires like more burning of carbs than it is just like more zone 2 cardio where you're kind of walking at a much more brisk but somewhat more manageable pace, which is burning a lot more fat. So it makes me wonder, is it the fact that he's doing the more interesting things because they look good on social media, which is why he's probably finding stalls, because he's pushed himself hard doing those exercises, but long term they're not as sustainable as doing other things.
Pedal faster. Okay, you see, your heart rate's gonna start going up.
Oh yeah.
You need to be intense with this. You can't be lollygag. You know, you can't be
just like slow pedal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Intensity.
Is it worth lowering this to a point where you can do more speed and intensity? Or do you kind of find a balance?
Great question. You can have a shorter window with heavier intensity, or you could go a longer duration
with a little bit less.
Correct.
So by this point, hopefully you start seeing maybe what I'm seeing, because to me, all of those questions were super beginner level questions. Maybe I'll give grace and say that maybe their agreement is this guy will coach him for free for a year, but I've got to use you as like a case study. So I've got to go through all the basic beginner stuff. Or the alternative is that literally he's telling the truth 100%, and this is him for the first time learning and knowing what to do with cardio machines, which to me would probably suggest that maybe you aren't working as hard as you think you are. I was about to leave, but someone actually wrote a comment that echoes what I was thinking. She says, I don't get it. You've been going to the gym or different gyms for almost a year and have worked out with so many different coaches and trainers, but you're acting like you've never seen or heard of a stationary bike before. Some of this just feels like an act for the camera. And I gotta agree. Both scenarios aren't the best, but of the two, the latter one is the better scenario, that you actually do know this stuff and you're just doing it for educational purposes. But if it's the first one, that's not a good look. Now, there is a guy here that's going to react to one of the latest weigh-ins from Ethan. He's also an overweight dude, but I do think what he says is quite interesting.
Last week, I was 445.2 pounds.
Let's see where we're at.
456.6 pounds.
So today, Ethan Benard had his weekly weigh-in and he gained 11 pounds in 1 week. 11 pounds in 1 week is a very, very substantial amount of weight to gain in 1 week. And it can indicate, in my opinion, one of two things. Either he has an extreme medical condition that he's not doing something about, and he claims to have lymphedema, which is accumulation of water in the body, particularly in his legs. We can see that very, very clearly when he does his weekly weigh-ins. He tends to compress his legs and get rid of the water. Unfortunately, this week he didn't have his diuretics, so he wasn't able to get rid of his water weight. And to his credit, he did do a lot of exercise this week, which is good. But unfortunately, when it comes to exercise, you can't outrun a bad diet. I would think that his weight gain of 11 pounds in 1 week is probably to do with excess food, excess calories. And you can still expect to gain weight if you have 5 out of 7 good days, because it depends on how those 2 days where you let yourself loose go. Unfortunately, Ethan suffers from a lot of hubristic tendencies. When he has one successful weigh-in, he tends to go absolutely crazy, does a little jig, and then tells all the haters to suck it or whatever. But then again, he puts on weight 2 weeks in a row, then we all realise that he's full of shit. Probably literally. My advice to Ethan would be to start seeking legitimate help for your binge eating disorder. I don't think Jacob Correa Peach Fit is going to do him any good. He's still going to have issues because he had a whole team of people when he was with the Jocko company. The 21-day boot camp, he gained 3 pounds. With Peach Fit so far, he's gained, 13 pounds, almost a stone in 2 weeks, which is, again, incredible feats, to be honest with you. So speaking as somebody who suffers from BED, I would suggest that getting therapy and make sure you hold yourself to account, because if you're relying on other people to hold you to account, it's just not going to work out, because effectively it's absolving you of any responsibility.
And that's ultimately what I was trying to get across at the beginning of the video. I like the premise of it, but I don't think he should try relying on that too much. And as he mentioned, he reeled off some things I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know how many boot camps he had. I do know that he's had various different coaches, because when you're obese like this, and I'm gonna say fat because obese sounds weird. When you're fat like this and you get fairly viral, every fitness and influencer comes out of the woodwork and wants to make videos with you because they want to do like swap diets. They can have the thumbnail like mad crazy with like loads of food. I guarantee if I search his name right now, there's gonna be loads of thumbnails like that. But yeah, every sort of fitness influencer slash coach will probably reach out to you and want to make content together. And that's probably the biggest reason I think why he actually did move. I think a big portion of it is because he wants to grow his following, and to do that, you collaborate. So maybe it is a 2-in-1, like he's going there to actually still try and lose weight. But I think the bigger portion of the pie is because he wants to be around other creators, create content. Okay, I'm curious now. Let me just check. Ethan Benard. Okay, there you go. The very first video, 8 million. And Jesus. But I will say that is a clean thumbnail. That's a very, very, very good thumbnail. As an influencer, that's a dope thumbnail. I gotta respect it. So the main takeaway, if you're someone on the husky side right now that's like Ethan or anywhere on that kind of spectrum, the key thing you have to know is that it starts with you. You can't rely on other people. So him moving 2,000 miles away, or him constantly getting like various coaches to help him out, that is good to help. However, you cannot rely on these people solely. It comes from within. He has to be the one to do the work. Deal with the actual binging aspect rather than the actual training itself, because you can't out-train a bad diet. You can't out-train poor mental habits, and you can't out-train what your mind perceives. If you think you can only see success by getting the best coach out there or doing some certain thing like that, you're probably not going to succeed. Or if you do, it'll only be for a short while. One of the reasons why people can often join a program and lose a lot of weight, and then when they end the program, they bounce it all back, it isn't because their body's magic and it's like metabolism stuff. It's because they didn't get to a point where those habits they've been doing wasn't ingrained in them enough to actually stick. So when the coach is gone and the eyes ain't watching, they slowly slip back. But once again, that is my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments if you think I'm bugging. Let me know if you saw Greg's video and what you think about that one as well. But with that being said, if you're someone that is currently struggling and you need a little bit of help, be sure to check out some of my previous videos. I can kind of give you more tips on overweight people looking to lose weight. Or even if you're someone that needs a little bit more guidance, feel free to click on the coaching. But just know that you don't need to move 2,000 miles to meet me. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video.